Hello there, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of TA with MK. My name is McKay. It's been a long time since I last made a video for you guys. I'm not going to bore you with the reasons as to my absence. All that matters is I'm back, baby, and it's time to talk some more crypto. The 2024 bull run is in full swing, and I want to kind of discuss with you guys what I'm looking at, what my plan is kind of over the next few months to the end of this year, and kind of give you an overall strategy and a plan as to how I'm looking at the market this bull run versus kind of how I was looking at things last bull run. And then based on the idea or ideas discussed in today's video, we're going to put out a series of videos over the next few weeks to few months, just discussing individual coins with market cap and price predictions for those coins, whether or not I'm holding or how much I'm holding. Whether I'm going more in on this coin or that coin and so forth. So if you wanna keep up to date with these videos as I put them out, as always, please remember to like and subscribe. And let's jump into today's video. It's TA with MK. It's TA with MK. Okie doke. So the first chart we're gonna look at is the Bitcoin weekly chart. This is on the Bitstamp exchange. The reason I like this chart is on TradingView. It's just one of the charts that has the most history for Bitcoin. And one of the things I want to talk about or emphasize in today's video, at least as it relates to my strategy, is there's two things that matter the most to me as it relates to when I plan on taking my profits. Now, one we'll discuss in the next part of this video, which is going to be kind of my projections for the market caps of some of the coins, how I come up with that at least. The future videos will be coin specific. Today's video, we're just going to discuss kind of how we come up with that. But the number two part, which is actually, I guess, really should be number one, the more important part as it relates to my strategy, is trying to time somewhat near the top. Now, first I want to point out that it's impossible to exactly time the top. And I know that I'd be foolish to pretend or sit here and pretend that I could do that or that I have a magic ball. However, we can look at a chart like this based on Bitcoin's history and its 4-year cycles and get an idea at least as when a projected top could happen. Now, every cycle has different things that seem to happen within them. Obviously, this last cycle had the double top here, which was something different that we hadn't experienced before, right? In the previous cycles, we just had one big blow-off top, as you can see here. But at the end of the day, one thing that we can say has been consistent, doesn't mean that it will stay consistent, but at least has to this point, has been the timing of the overall cycles. And what I mean by that is you can look at, for example, this last bull run, and you can see that from top to top, you had, roughly 1,400 days, a little more. We can go back here in the history and look kind of. So this would be the blow off top of 2013, right? We can take it from that top, if you can see that on my chart, and go to, this top. You had 1,470 days. So, a very, very similar amount of time there. We can also take it a step further and use some confluence from the past cycles and the Bitcoin halvings. We can see back in 2016, if we go from that halving until the blow off top, it was about 518 days. We could do the same thing with the follow, the halving that happened after that in 2020, go from that date to this top of the last bull run, you had 546 days. Take the average between those, it's 532, and we can say, okay, from this April halving that's about to happen here in a few months, or in next month, I should say, that if you go 532 days out, it puts you at the beginning of October of 2025. We can also go from this top and drag all the way to this projected top and see that it fits right around that little over 1,400 days. And then just one other thing I wanted to point out super quick before we move on is another thing that we can expect kind of from this point in the bull run going forward is, multiple pullbacks. And that's going to be the time we're really going to want to be ready to jump into the coins that we have projections for, or the coins that we're watching that we have confidence in, because the journey from, bottom, or at least from halving to the blow off top, or when the top is in, is quite a bumpy one. As you can see in the past, if I zoom in, we're just going to focus kind of on, well, we could actually even look back here at this bull run back here, really. Clear back in the 2016 one. You can see that halving happens, and then you had pullbacks along the way. We'll kind of focus on these bigger ones, but you had a 34% pullback. You had another 30% pullback. Basically, you have pullbacks anywhere from 25 to 30%, and you have multiple of them. Here we had 1, 2, three, three just right there, and really there was a fourth and a fifth one. All these, major pullbacks happened, after the halving, and between the halving and the actual top, right? And if we fast forward to the next bull run, the one from the previous one that we just had 4 years ago, you can see that again halving happens. We had one major pullback, two major pullbacks, three major pullbacks. Obviously this one was kind of unprecedented, which led to our double top. But the point being that from the time the halving happened to this price, it wasn't a straight line up. You had a lot that happened between there. Some major pullbacks, some healthy pullbacks. Same thing happened here, obviously, and so we can expect the same thing to happen again. Now I know a lot of people are talking about it's just going straight to the moon with the ETFs and all that happening, but no matter what we come up with as a projections for price, and if we are able to hit those prices, and maybe it happens sometime around our projected top time, it's not going to look like this. In fact, it's most likely going to look something like this. With multiple, probably anywhere from 3 to 5 sizable pullbacks that could be anywhere from 25 to 40%. All right, and then to finish out today's video, we're going to quickly discuss what I referenced at the beginning of the video, and that is how we're going to come up with some of these market cap projections, or at least a different way of looking at it that maybe if you're newer to crypto you haven't thought about. And what I'm referencing is, so market cap would just be the amount of money that's in a coin. So for example, Bitcoin right now has a 1.3 trillion, a little over that, market cap. That's the amount of money that's in Bitcoin. You can kind of come down here. This is CoinGecko.com. I'm looking at the top 50 coins here. Looking at Ethereum, it has a $463 billion market cap. And one of the common things that I've heard, or at least I even thought about when I was new to crypto, was that most of these coins should at least get back to their previous all-time highs. And while that's definitely possible, especially with a lot of the coins, one thing that I didn't take into account when I was newer to crypto was exactly what that might entail from a market cap perspective. And again, what I mean by that is actually pretty simple, but it's not something that everyone that's newer to crypto takes into account. And it's that a lot of these coins, or basically all of these coins, have unlocks where more coins go into circulation. So what I mean by that is at the top, or at the top of a coin's all-time high from the last cycle, something like, let's use SHIB, our favorite meme coin. Let's use that as an example. The amount of coins in circulation was different at its previous all-time high from the last cycle as what it is now. More coins have been unlocked. So because of that, in order for the price to hit the same levels that it did, there's going to have to be more money to go into the coin because there's just more coins that need to be bought up. And a lot of people don't look at it that way or don't think of that, even though they should. But it's just maybe not something, if you're new to crypto, that you realize these coins do. So for example, if we look at a SHIB chart, we'll go over here real quick and I'll type in SHIB and we'll go over to like the KuCoin chart. If we go over here, and this is the weekly chart, there may have been, a handful of people, obviously there was a handful of people that bought this coin at its top over here, right? That happened on October 25th of 2021. Shiba hit 4 zeros and 88 as its all-time high, or at least roughly right around there. And so if we go back over here to the CoinGecko and we click on Shiba Inu, we can click here where it says market cap, and I usually click max so I can see the entire history. And we can scroll over here on October 29th. We can see that the market cap reached in the previous cycle's all-time high just under 41.2 billion. So we'll just round it to 41.2. Again, right now the market cap is sitting right around 19 billion. Let me go back a page real quick. 18.8 actually. Right here it says 18.8. So over here on my rusty trusty notepad, I've written down, I've just rounded up, but SHIB's current market cap is 18.8 billion. Its all-time high is 41.2 billion, 120% increase. Now that, how I came up with that increase, just in case you're not great at doing math, which I'm not necessarily that good at doing that in my head myself, I'll leave a link in the description for a website I use. It's calculator.net. This site's pretty useful. I use this one down here where it says percentage change calculator. I inputted the 18.8 here. to 41.2 on the end, and it tells you what the increase by percentage is from this number to this number. And then I hit calculate, and it came up with 119, which I just rounded to 120%. I wrote that down right here. So anyway, what am I getting at? Well, if we minimize this and go back over here to the SHIB chart, and we take the current price, or if we go back over here at least and see that the price as of this was 4 zeros and 32 basically, and then we take our percentage tool, looks like that's where the price is right now, and we go up 120% and stop 119.5, actually is even more accurate, and we put a horizontal line, we can see that the price there is actually ends at basically 4 zeros and just over 70. So what does this mean? Well, if you haven't figured it out already based on what I just showed you, what it means is that if the price of SHIB, if there's no other tokens unlocked anyway between now and whenever it potentially hits this price of 0070, at that price there will be the same amount of money in the coin as there previously was that pumped the coin clear up to the 00 just under 90. So meaning that it would fall short of its all-time high of around by about 25.5%, we'll just call it 26%, with the same amount of money being in the coin as there was when it hit its previous all-time high. At any rate, I'll be putting out a video in the next couple of days with examples for about 3 to 4 coins, just some of the top 50 coins, of where their previous market cap all-time high was, what the price was, and what the price would be this cycle if it were to reach that same market cap. So hopefully in this next video, if this one didn't clear it up or make a ton of sense, which it really isn't that complicated, so hopefully it did, but the next video I'll give you a few more examples, and you can kind of see that depending on the coin especially, there's a lot of these coins that even if they get the same amount of money influxed into them as what they did last cycle, they may still be anywhere from 25 to 30 or 40% lower in price as they were, last cycle. Appreciate you guys sticking around to the end. As always, if you have any questions at all, you can see the link in the description for my Telegram group. That's one easy way to join our community, and then you can feel free to ask me questions inside of there. You can also, of course, leave a comment. And, also feel free to comment on any particular coins that maybe you're looking at that you would like me to take a peek at and potentially make a future video about. As always, I appreciate you guys, and on your way out, if you could do me a huge favor and remember to like and subscribe, and catch you in the next one. It's TAL.